sometimes as an entrepreneur you tend to be so indulged into your work that you forget about your family, about your community, about yourself as well. Because you're so focused on your target. Same thing happens to the country as well. You get focused on development and you tend to forget certain things. Now we're trying to hit two birds with one stone here. First of all to the government, because whatever damage had happened to the sea, we're trying to help the government back again to revive that. And it's a message to the entrepreneur that come on, sometimes you can pull a break and start thinking of other things other than your business only. You can fix things. You can still go back to your community, to your family, and to yourself as well.
This has been an idea of mine for many years. I love the sea, and as a kid, we used to go to the sea and snorkel and used to see the marine life. And over the last few years, 20 years or 30 years, to see the devastation that happened to the marine life, it's really sad. And this was a fantastic opportunity for us as people to help do our little part to help save the environment and generate new reefs and fish stocks.
Well, actually I'm feeling really excited. It's a special social event, and social events when they are associated with value giving, they're always nicer. We've done this 2 years back. We went to Halal's yard, we listened to her, we got the value that she was trying to deliver, and we convinced the members to donate at the time, and now we're taking the fruits today, seeing the actual reef being deployed in the sea. So really excited for that.
I'm feeling actually happy, relieved that finally, after a year and a half of planning to put the EO-sponsored reefs in the water at Durrat Al-Bahrain, we finally get to do it today and see the reefs actually go in for bettering the marine environment here in Bahrain and in Durrat Al-Bahrain.
I didn't do it for the sake of legacy, it was out of the passion for the love of the sea, and as our responsibility as humans, as Bahrainis, as entrepreneurs, to contribute to our environment and to our community and our world. So this for me represented the perfect project where we can do more.
This project is a privately sponsored project by the Entrepreneurial organisation, and they are one of the first private organisations to sponsor a reef here in Bahrain. And what has been nice is they haven't just given us the money, they've actually been actively involved in the entire process, where we had the educational learning event in the beginning, where we had the people, the children, the adults to come down and actually see how we make the units and why we make the units the way we do.
We start off by making them in our yard at Reef Arabia, using concrete, special mix of concrete. And we make them in our yard. We have our own designs also, which we'll be putting into the water here today. We have a barge with cranes. Once the units are loaded onto the barge then sets sail.
We're going to try and deploy about 30 units today and try and finish the rest tomorrow morning. We want you guys to be involved as much as possible, so we do have a boat. We could probably take 4 or 5 of you at a time to come out and see what's going on. We want to come back every 6 months and see what fish come onto this reef. It may not be a success, you can never guarantee these things. No, God makes reefs, not us, we try and copy. If it doesn't work, we've learned a valuable lesson, but we've brought all this awareness to people, and that's the key thing.
I think this is the ultimate satisfaction, because from an idea to a reality, and I think it would be really great in 4 or 6 months when we dive and see the reef balls and how they changed from being a cement blocks to being a home for some fish and seeing algae and some corals and things attached to it. That would be the ultimate satisfaction.
We came together, we talked about environmental issues, you took your time and effort to learn what we're doing and to involve yourself in it, and it's culminated into where we are today. It's taken a bit of time in true local fashion, the organisation, but we're here. What we're going to be doing today is deploying the units that you guys have sponsored. First of all, we really thank you for it. It's not so much about the money that you've given us, it's not so much even putting the reefs in the water and creating a habitat, but it is the awareness that all of you will go away with today and and tell your friends, tell your family about what we are all doing together. Because the more people you tell, the more people will listen. And in 5 years' time, maybe we can have half of this country doing something good as opposed to 90% at the moment doing bad. What we've got a total of 37 concrete units today. The biggest one is about 2 tons, it's really quite heavy. We've got our small little barge. It's located just about 200 meters from this tent, so you can actually stand outside and have a look. It's about this sort of size, the first one. There's a nice plaque on it that says sponsored by EO, and it says the date and everything. We're going to lower that one into place, and then we're going to ask a couple of your divers to come and join us so we can have the GDN moment where we can shake hands, take a few pictures and videos, and then we're going to start deploying the others. It's very technical how we deploy these units. The bigger one is going to be lowered down by divers, by ropes and pulleys, and it's very dangerous, so we just ask you guys to stand back. The other is really technical. We tie a big bladder to it and we chuck it over the side of the boat. So if you see lots of splashes, that's what's going on. The real work happens underwater, and that's where we'll be diving and moving things into place. Because what we want to try and do is create a reef that is visually attractive as possible, considering these things look like alien egg sacs, but we'll try and make it look nice. But the whole idea is to create additional spaces and habitat for fish. There's no point just putting them randomly like you have to create little niches, little micro niches for the animals and fish to get refuge from water currents and from predators and so on.
Basically, we decided we had to design the EO reef based on the number of units we have, okay? To make it more productive, to make use of the productivity of the area. The more units you have, the better, obviously. So we had to work with the number we have, with the sponsorship we have, and hopefully in the future, if more people would like to sponsor from Durrat Al-Bahrain or private residents, they can do that, and it will become bigger, but it has to be designed so that it gives that cluster feeling, so that the fish feel safe within this reef, just like a natural reef.
There are a lot of problems. There are legal issues with the permitting that is required from the government. The government obviously has to have these permit systems in place to make sure that we don't damage the marine environment or we don't damage any other marine resources. I mean, as an example, if we're putting a reef out and someone has an underwater cable in the area, we don't want to damage it. So permitting is important, but it has been very sluggish.
Before we actually decide on the site, we had to do a number of surveys, marine surveys around Durrat Al-Bahrain, to see the most suitable site and the most protected site, because the security here will have to protect these sites too, from spear guns and from a lot of different things.
There's actually a very big group of people around the world that says artificial reefs are actually more dangerous than they are good, because what they do is they attract fish, and then the fishermen will come in with reduced effort, they can catch a lot more fish. Which is why we've chosen the site of Durrat Al-Bahrain, because it is a private development, a private area, and you don't get the big commercial fishermen coming in. So hopefully it is protected in this area.
I think it comes in the DNA of entrepreneurs. They tend to give, to contribute. It's in the nature of entrepreneurship. When we start companies, basically we provide jobs and opportunities. And being responsible people contributing to our environment, it's part of what we stand for. So I see it as being a natural part of our entrepreneurship experience.
So EO really set the precedence with regards to the involvement of private groups of people or organisations. And since the EO have taken this initiative, we've had a lot of other companies and a lot of private groups say, well, look, we also want to do such projects. So again, we want to thank EO for taking the lead, if you like, in this project. But the whole thing is for the members of EO to go away from here and to tell their family and friends what they've done, be proud of what they've done, and let's continue up the good work.
Actually, I woke up very happy today morning, very happy and excited, looking forward to the event itself, and I told myself, yes, today I'm doing something different. And I really wish that I can come back and try to snorkel and see the fish underneath. And I really wish that this movement by EO Bahrain will have multiple effects with other groups as well.